What's up, Bod Squad? It's Baley
and Blair,
and this is Boddens Up. Julia Cole, welcome to Boddens Up.
Let's
go.
What's up, sis? I'm so excited.
Been waiting for this one.
I feel like this is my norm because I have two sisters, and so it's just like pretend I'm the middle sister here.
Yeah.
Exactly. Wow, that wine is
Strong.
interesting.
Are we gonna get wild?
I hope not. I have not been hungover in a minute, like because I haven't really been drinking, and we drank yesterday, and
Yeah.
I woke up and felt not.
I think
great.
it was our first show jitters, and we were just chugging
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do,
Yeah.
and like it does help.
Yes, it really
did
does.
help. I don't know. So there's a few things we want to talk to you about today.
Yes.
Spicy.
But first and foremost, I think most people would want to know. We got to know, who are you dating?
Oh my
Immediately.
god!
Like let's just hop in.
I'm ready to dive into that question because it is so sad. Zero people. Not a dinner on the books.
No,
But it's okay because
you're
you know-
probably busy.
No. That's a kind of a lie because I've been on about 200 dates in the last month, and none of them were with romantic interests. They were all with business people.
Yeah.
Oh,
But like a
okay.
date is
Yeah.
when you go somewhere and you're getting to know somebody, and you have to go through like your life story, their life story. What do you like? Who, like all of that stuff, and you're just trying to remember who's from where and who has what siblings and does what job.
Yeah.
And remembering all those things is so hard.
Yeah.
And then the last month, I've had meetings with like a ton of attorneys, a ton of managers, a ton of publishers, a ton of agents, and like 10 different labels. And there's like multiple people in every one of those meetings. So the number of life stories I've digested in the last month
You're like, I don't
is
have room
unbearable.
to-
It's true.
Yeah.
I don't
The
want to go to
mind
dinner
capacity.
after
I don't.
it.
Yeah. I don't want to go get to know someone.
I had a
for
coffee
fun.
and a lunch date.
Yeah.
Not romantically. I can't also do a dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Like
So
I'm
funny.
I'm
Too
tapped
much.
out. I
Yeah.
gotta go see my girls.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
with you.
not to hop the conversation, we're talking about your business meetings, and you are not a signed artist in Nashville.
Correct.
Okay. So, but you've had opportunities to sign record deals.
Correct.
Why have you not?
The reason is I have yet to be presented with someone explaining how they're gonna do something I'm not already doing for myself.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
are they gonna amplify this in a way that isn't already being done? Like if they
Can we fix?
It's okay. I'll just tighten this. I just posted a video on socials this week. That happened to me mid-performance at the listening room. I was singing Daylight in a Buckshort, my first time ever singing the song, and the mic stand just drops in the middle of the first verse. So I'm like, Daylight in a Buckshort.
Oh, wait, I did see that.
And I'm like holding on to it, and then I'm like trying to. It was so ridiculous. And then you see me at the end of the first verse when there's finally somewhere to breathe, and I go and I like tighten the
real
the
fast.
mic stand. No, it's actually
someone should
ridiculous.
ran out and helped you out
Yeah, for
there.
sure.
Well, I was like on a raised stage, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been easy for someone to get up there anyway.
Yeah.
And a verse is only 30 seconds.
True.
So I fixed it at the end of it, but it was
Yeah.
still really funny. Like
Yeah.
relatable.
Wait, I want to
Dropped it low really fast.
But I want to go back to the question because today's world, it's not the same as like when Dolly Parton was starting her music career,
Right.
Where she needed a team to do the marketing,
Everything.
and really everything, right?
You couldn't
So-
get your music onto any platform that a human being could hear it.
Yeah.
The only way you could perform back then for people without being signed was live, like literally live music.
Yeah.
And now everyone has access. Like we can all upload our own music to
Yeah.
Spotify, Apple Music,
Yeah.
YouTube,
put it
Amazon. Like
Right.
Yeah.
you can get it on Pandora. You can get it on anything without a label.
Without a
So
label.
it's one of those, like, if you aren't going to bring something to the table that I can't already do myself.
Sure.
If I had been like at the very beginning of my career and been offered that, it might have been different because I didn't have any money. So I would have been like, you're going to pay for the records?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
But I just Airbnb'd my futon out to
Yeah.
pay rent
Love
so I could
it.
stay on Music Row. I mean, I could have been
great.
murdered. My dad was so pissed at me once he found out.
gosh.
So true.
But like I ended up using that money to like make my first demos, and I ended up throwing a few of those online. They made some money, and I used that money to then make a slightly better record. And then
awesome.
I just kind of like built it like that. And this project over the last year, I mean, I quite literally used like the best band, best mixing engineer, best mastering engineer. Like my producer's awesome. So everything was paid for by me. So I'm like, I don't need a label to pay for that.
Right.
So
So
you don't need a label to pay for marketing. Like every post you're putting up.
Yeah, it's killing
Like
it.
she has developed, and we talk about this all the time because with artwork, I'm like, I have not broken what makes a piece of art like content go viral.
Yeah.
And like, of course I look at Jules, like it's a different structure, but it's the same thing. It's like there's a specific way that you make these videos, you put the sound to them, you put the words on there.
That
It's
like catches people.
the hook, like it's like the catching them, keeping them there, and like she's just mastered this art. It's like it's marketing like you cannot pay for.
Yeah.
Like I mean you can, but it's like
I don't see. Here's the thing. I know that there are other marketing strategies other than social media.
Totally.
And that's what I'm waiting for somebody
It's
to
just-
explain what those things are that they would do additionally.
Sure.
If they're just going to sit around and wait for me to pop it off myself on Instagram and TikTok
Yeah.
and YouTube Shorts and Facebook Reels, cool.
I'm already doing
I'm already
that.
doing
You're
that.
already doing
I don't
it.
need
But if
that.
they can come in with some other really cool creative stuff, then I'm like, let's play ball.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
For
what
sure.
what would those other creative things look like? Do we
mean,
know?
we're
She doesn't know. She'd be
we're
doing
waiting,
it
like
all.
we're waiting for the checklist. Like
And it's, I mean, some of these conversations are happening right now. I actually, so the order in which I'm picking all these team members is obviously important because you don't want to piece together things that end up being a puzzle piece that doesn't work because they all have to be cohesive. So obviously the first person I had to pick was my attorney.
the attorney, we went through.
So I had
like 15 attorneys. It was crazy.
lots of dates
Yeah.
with attorneys. Honestly, loved most everyone.
Yeah.
I ended up going with Nick Ferrara. He's awesome, and he like did Jelly Rolls deals and
Yeah.
like a bunch of other people's
cool.
deals. Then like, it's just really really cool to hear his perspective on what types of deals you get from other labels, because he's seen all of these different labels present deals across the board. And obviously, you know, he's super private with everybody's information, so I don't have any like specifics.
Yeah.
But when he's asking me like what are the things you're looking for, he can be like, you might be better off talking to this label and this label.
Yeah.
This label I've seen, you
Do
know,
this
is a
and
little
that.
harder to work with on
He
this
knows
thing or
the
this.
industry.
Yeah.
And he knows the people in it.
I don't know anything about that
Side of it.
area of
Yeah.
the industry, and it's really nice to have somebody who's like been in
Well-versed.
that.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
totally.
he also helped me when I was talking to a bunch of different managers, and I ended up going with Why and How Management, Bruce Kalmick. We really hit it off. Like we actually were talking before this Daylight in a Buck Short song
Came out,
popped
yeah.
off and went super viral.
Yeah.
And I had some other stuff that was circulating and
sure.
doing well, but that song kind of made like a lot of other people reach out, and I liked that we were already like talking before that.
It's kind of like when you're dating someone and then
Yeah.
you become like really, really hot or really, really rich, and they like wanted you when you weren't that. And then you're in it and you're like, you know what? And all these guys are like circling back. You're like, no, I'm good. Like, this
And he's
guy
from
was here.
Texas. The company's
Yeah.
a Texas company, and like, I don't know. There's something about people who just already know that whole part of my world, because obviously I'm from Houston, Texas, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of disconnect in Nashville with people trying to make their own opinion of who you are and what you are,
Totally.
instead of like actually listening to who you are and what you are. And it's nice that they just get it on that front. And there's some things that like people who are just kind of from the same area as you, they already know. They know what it looks like where I grew up. And
Well, also just letting you grow and letting you go where you need to go. Like, because it's like your music and who you are today is so different than it was when you got here 10 years ago. So it's like, really like not night and day, but it's different. So it's like just letting
it's
you.
so different. I had to learn.
It's so different.
But you know what? I've heard this from everyone who does music. Like, it's really cool and refreshing to, like, the experimentation process of figuring out what you want to say and who you want to be. It doesn't happen overnight. Like, I wasn't even doing music growing up. I was just in sports my entire life. And then I started doing national anthems for my volleyball games. You know what I mean? Like the way I fell into this industry is so backwards.
Crazy.
Like I didn't grow up being like, I'm going to be the next, Taylor Swift. Like I didn't think that. I was like, I'm probably going to work in the oil and gas industry like my dad, be a teacher like my mom, or, you know what I mean? Do something that I've seen everyone else in Houston do.
Yeah.
Right.
My mom was a nurse too. I'm like, okay, that could work, and then I realized I cannot deal with blood. That's not happening. No. So nurse was out, but I was like, I'll figure it out. But music was never even like in the picture until I was singing in front of 75,000 people at a Texans game.
This is
I was like, this is sick. They paid me to do this. Look at those fireworks. Like this jet's flying over. What?
Like, I could do this.
Yeah, I could do this.
So for somebody who's getting into the industry, the next, blonde girl, the 10 years ago Julia that just moved here.
Yeah.
What's your advice to her?
Oh my gosh. I have so much advice for her. And I think there's two that I'll share. One is like my advice that I would give people. And the other one is the advice that was given to me that really helped me a lot.
Okay.
So the first one, I would say, don't work so hard at promoting something before you've worked really hard at perfecting your craft and really honing in on what it is that you're ready to say to the world. Because I dove right in on the marketing side of things, of how can I make this very first iteration of my work as big as it can be. And I wonder if I would have spent all of that effort on songwriting, how much faster my songs would have gotten to where they are today.
Yeah.
And you only have 24 hours in a day, and all that brain power and energy that's going towards promo or networking or all that stuff that at the end of the day, none of that matters if your music sucks.
Yeah.
It's
so
you got to make sure the
yeah.
music's good.
Yeah.
And I just everyone has to figure it out on their own, and some people have maybe help from a team that will guide you in that direction. But I was just gung-ho about making somebody listen to it when it probably didn't need to be listened to yet. If we're being real.
I'm dead. That's actually so funny.
Yeah. So that's the first piece of advice is work on your craft before you work on promoting it. Don't shove it down people's throats. Make sure that what you're doing is something you believe in. Mm-hmm. And then once you find that, people will let you know when they love it.
Yeah, of course.
You don't need to force it.
Exactly.
Right.
And then the piece of advice that I was given was by Laurie White. She was my only publisher I've ever had. So Chuck Cannon and Laurie White found me when they knew I didn't know how to write a song.
Yeah.
But they liked me. They liked my voice, and they liked that I was a writer. I wrote a book and some poetry contests I won in high school. They were like, okay, maybe we can help her learn how to write a song. Anyway, when I was working with them, I just remember being so stressed out about it's things like the decisions I'm making right now.
Totally.
How do you know you're picking the right manager and the right attorney and the right label? The answer is you just don't know. You can't know.
Yeah.
You just have to trust your instincts.
You can't read the end of the book first.
Yeah.
You just have to go with what's going on. So Laurie always said to me, don't be afraid of there are no wrong decisions.
Yeah.
There are no wrong decisions. There are the decisions you make and then the next decisions you make.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's if you decided to go with this team and it was right for you in that moment, and then you grow your separate ways.
Yeah, totally.
And you learn something about yourself that you realize you need this other thing, this other element into your life.
Yeah.
You make another decision. And that next decision is to part ways and then make a new decision for someone else. And I was like, way to take the pressure off of this isn't the end of the world, life or death.
Yeah. But it is totally honoring your intuition and going, okay, this feels like the right move for me. This feels and trusting that intuition and going, this, even if it ends up being, what's the saying where it's you go so far down a road, it's you hire slow, fire fast.
Yeah.
And it's if you get
I actually think hire fast, fire fast.
Yeah. Well, actually,
I'm serious.
I'm Mom and Blair get frustrated with me. I'm a ready, shoot, aim. Mm-hmm. And I know you're like that too. And it's I'll just make decisions. I'm let's just see if it works. Fuck it.
Well, in my opinion, you can't know until you're doing it. Yeah. Everyone will.
Loves to yap.
They love to
talk about it and plan.
They promise the world. Everyone does.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. It's that's what they're selling themselves. They want you to hire them or work with them or whatever.
Yeah. But that's what this story, like these stories are about, is like the bottoms up. Like that's good. Like really the whole thing we've done with every business we've started.
Pull the trigger.
We're like, just do it.
Yeah,
do
just
it.
If
do
it sucks, it sucks and you move on and do something else. But like if it doesn't suck and it rocks, like then you've just hit a home run and you look like a genius.
Yeah.
And the two little advice pieces that I gave, they sound almost a little contradicting because one is about like, you know, it sounds like it's about hesitation when I say, don't worry so much about promoting it before you've worried about like honing in on your craft.
Yeah.
But I still think that they work together because I don't regret any of the things I learned in those early era of like,
I mean, that's how you learn.
If I hadn't seen the way that those songs were so hard to promote, like people, it was hard to get people to listen to them versus the way now I don't do anything.
Yeah.
And
People
a song just does it itself.
Yeah.
Look,
I wouldn't know the
is so
difference.
fun.
It's like, it's cool to have that
where
awareness
it's really
now.
easy and seamless. Yeah. Because isn't that true? Like we talk about this because the music industry, like obviously I'm a painter, it's different, but it's kind of the same because when people love specific pieces, it's like, I don't really have to do a whole lot. People just want to promote them and like look at them and view the shows and do all of it, purchase them.
Purchase them.
Purchase them.
Write that check, baby.
Get your bag, girl. But like it's so funny with the music thing because as there's like a lot of controversial comments that I'll read online around the Grammys and all of the organizations and, you know, is it fixed? Is it this? Is it paid for? Whatever. And it's like, we're in 2025, the internet exists and people will tell you if your shit sucks or not.
Yeah.
Like they will like, it will be like how your videos are now where you're getting, you know, millions.
Fan base is insane.
Yeah. Like a cult following.
But it doesn't happen with every song.
No.
I mean,
it's even now.
And that's okay with me.
Yeah, it's okay.
Like I've realized that I've disconnected my self-worth from the success of a song.
Yeah.
You know, like I know that the song served its purpose for my therapy when I needed to write it, whatever it was.
Exactly.
And even if it's only going to be, you know, a few people's favorite song, but they relate to it.
Totally.
The song is still doing what it was meant to do.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be sad about it if this one didn't blow up and I thought it would, and this one blew up and I didn't think it would.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I just want the songs to like serve their purpose and get where they're meant to be.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's taken a lot of the pressure off of me not feeling so stressed about like which song next, you know? I'm like, I'm just cutting as many of my songs as I can.
Yeah.
And I just love releasing because it's like, otherwise this song just sits on a hard drive and the whole world never hears it.
Yeah.
Then it serves nobody.
Yeah.
Zero people.
Yeah.
So that's also why I have a hard time with labels because they say they know what's going to work. And then I look at their roster and I'm like, I am out streaming these 7 artists on your roster, you know, not the ones that are the size of
and like naturally, like no money behind it, but outside of making.
But I'm
records.
like, if you really knew what was going to work, well, why didn't you pick a hit for those 7 artists?
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like that'd be my
No
dream
one
job.
knows.
I feel like that would be such my dream job.
Of course, it's fun.
For me to sit at like for me to go work at a record label and like people send me their songs, I'm like, no. Yes. No. Yes.
Kevin will even say that's subjective. Like
it is. It's so
I'll
subjective.
Say, like, I don't understand how someone puts out an album and has like 5 good songs and the other 10 suck. And he's like, honey, that's to you. That's not.
It is, but it isn't. Especially in country music. Yeah. So Julia's about to release another song. I said this song that Julia played me the other day. I was like, it's hilarious, and it's like referring to hunting boots, like when you're going out like on Broadway out on the town. It's like, don't be mistaken, these are my hunting boots. Like I'm going to find
my man's.
Find me a man's. And it is like so fun and so cute, and it's like so like country radio wouldn't dare deny. And it's like hilarious.
Because it is so funny, this era I'm in right now, because, you know, this album I released over the last year, it was step by step, piece by piece, getting through calling off an engagement. I mean, y'all obviously know the whole story.
Which we're also going to touch on.
Yeah, and it was a huge turning point in my life.
Yeah.
But this album went from not knowing what I should do. Do I stay? Do I go? To finally deciding to leave.
Yeah.
To how do you deal with losing the family afterwards? To what's next? How do you heal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's gone through this whole year of the life cycle of, you know, calling off this thing you thought was forever.
Right.
And what I've noticed about a lot of the songs that are in my repertoire now, they're in that like that next phase of being ready to like get out there, but at the same time so scared of really truly diving in again.
Yeah.
Like you're like down for the surface level flirting and the fun and the dancing and going out and like getting hit on.
Yeah.
But when it comes to
like, are you
giving someone your heart,
Yeah.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
And I think these songs, they touch on all of that with this added element of, I don't think I did this intentionally, but every ex I've ever had, and y'all know, I've dated 2 guys basically for 4 years each.
Yeah.
They're huge hunters.
Yeah.
So I have so much
It's so
hunting
funny.
theme
Yeah.
in like
I literally was gonna wear
all
camo.
of these new songs.
I had on a camo shirt and I was like,
worn camo.
I was like, oh, I was gonna wear my camo shirt because I was like, everything Jules is doing right now, we're going
People
hunting.
have asked me like, oh, are you a huge hunter? And I'm like, I grew up hunting with my dad or my
Yeah.
grandpa.
Yeah,
And
but
like,
no.
I went a couple times with my exes.
Yeah.
But I only go when someone invites me. I think it's fun. And I do it every once in a while, but I'm not going to schedule it myself.
No.
Like I'm going to use someone else's rifle.
Like, you're
I
not
don't
taking
have my
me and
own.
Blair hunting.
No, I've never been, and I don't really care.
It's actually really fun. Like deer hunting's not my thing because it's too cold and you got to be way too damn quiet. There's no yapping going on.
Dad
But
fell
duck hunting, dove hunting,
Yeah.
it's fun.
laughing the whole time.
Yeah, he'd be mad at you if
Yeah.
your boyfriend took. That's what my thing. I would get like in trouble. It wouldn't even be a fun date because they'd be like,
No.
"Shut up!" I'd be
Yeah.
like, "It's so cold."
No. No one in our family's hunted. We don't go hunting. Dad went hunting once, and he said he woke up on a tree like with a deer like next to him.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's crazy. Like taking a nap next to him. I was like, you don't need to be going hunting. He like got drunk and fell asleep on
He
a
made a
tree.
new
I'm like,
best
"That's
friend
insane."
instead. Yeah.
He's like, I'm not gonna kill a deer. I'm like, yeah, we definitely have not.
No.
But
Venison's delicious though. Like, y'all, again, listen,
Veal
I'm
is
from
one of my
Texas. Like,
favorites.
y'all
Wait,
wear
that's
fur.
baby
Y'all aren't
cow.
animal
we're all of our,
lovers.
most of
to
our
the
furs
point
are real.
of-
I'm really sorry, but they're already made. So
That is one thing that was a little bit of culture shock that I didn't think I was going to expect coming to Tennessee.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I thought it was like, oh, it's still the South. It's because we're in Nashville.
we're in Nashville. Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
like, it's very different than where I grew up.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
to a
it's
big
not
extent.
like New York. They're throwing blood on your white fur, like Sex in the City.
Yeah, I just
but-
picture Samantha going, I love New York. I just watched the entire, like literally all 6 seasons of Sex in the City because I watched one episode
No.
with Bailey. She made me start season 1,
I love
episode
it.
1,
She
and
had
I
never
binged
seen
the
the
whole
show.
thing. I wasn't
ever.
allowed.
And what's so
Why?
crazy?
Because I'm from Texas.
Oh.
My
And what's-
parents are conservative as
Well,
it
there's
gets.
some conservative like.
No, there
It's
is
about
not.
it's
you can't
definitely
talk about
more-
sex.
Yeah.
Not in
Yeah.
not where I'm
if you
from.
bring up sex like around her dad, he's like,
No, even around me, my cheeks still flush. Like it's not how we were raised.
Oh,
We
wow.
like my parents will talk about drinking or like
it's fine. Yeah.
like, hunting, whatever.
Yeah.
But you talk about sex, and it is like
Nope.
Nope.
door shut, slammed,
Yeah.
angry,
Pissed.
done. Night's over. I remember we'd be watching even just Gossip Girl back in high
Oh
school.
yeah. Well, I mean, Gossip Girl's like
very
pretty
sexual.
hypersexual. Yeah.
Super,
Yeah,
but it was
I'm
at least
all
like
about that,
it was at least
sure.
like high schoolers, so they were like trying to hide it a little bit, whatever.
Yeah.
Like for their parents at least.
Yeah,
but
but
my
it's, like,
dad, I remember
awkward.
we would be sitting there on the couch and my dad would open the game room door and he would see what was on the TV and he would slam it as loud as
Oh
he
my
could
gosh.
shut.
Oh
Pissed.
my god.
So mad.
I don't think I've met your mom. I
Yeah.
don't think I've met your dad.
Oh my
My
gosh, he's the
sister and
best.
her husband, even engaged, had to sleep in different rooms of the
Separate
house.
Yeah, of
rooms.
course. Yeah.
Separate
course.
sides of the house. I mean, it was like
I love that old school though.
I don't mind it at all.
Mind
like
it.
it's so funny how we've talked about something like I love tradition.
Yeah.
Like I'm a junkie for tradition, and I think it's because it's nostalgic for me.
Yeah.
It like reminds me of being back home and this era that I've been in Nashville. Yeah. Nobody is traditional about anything.
Everyone's making their own rules for sure.
Yeah. And part of that when I got here was exciting. It was like, oh my God, freedom. Like you can do whatever you want. And then I slowly started to find myself missing the boundaries. Like the boundaries. Like longing for a little bit of like,
I think like
someone tell me this isn't okay.
Yeah. Like someone needs, well, but isn't that what's so funny about like today's world just in general? It's like people are terrified. We talked about this last night with Victoria. It's like people are terrified to like say, I want X, Y, and Z. Like I want boundaries. Like I like the tradition. I like, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like, it's just such like a tight culture right now to be like opinionated if it's not the like mass
the norm.
And we like won't get crazy into religion, but I'm like I was raised Catholic.
Yeah.
That's a really, really traditional faith. Like I was confirmed, I was baptized, we did our first communion. I went to church every Sunday. I had church school every Wednesday. And this whole upbringing, I was like, this is so rigid and we have to kneel down, stand up.
You're going to church to work out.
And you can't like bring a water bottle into church. You know what I mean? It's like, it's very, you have to wear a certain thing and you have to be quiet. And I just remember I couldn't wait until I was allowed to go up there and get like the communion piece of bread and wine. I was like so young and I was like, please, I can't wait till I'm old enough. And then it's so funny because then I like grow up, move away from home, and I'm finally like, oh, no one's forcing me to do anything on my Sunday. I can do whatever I want. I'm in college. No, this is I'm
but like 10 years ago. Yeah.
Well, like even just a couple of years ago, it's like, oh, you have this freedom. And then I started to realize the reason that, like, I went to all the different churches here in Nashville with different people at different times, whether it be with, one of the guys I dated or with you or with another friend who just wanted to go. So I've been to the Cross Points and to the, what was the one? Zeal.
Yeah.
And
we went to Mama Jan's church last week.
Mama Jan's Methodist Church a couple days ago on Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, he sure
I love it there.
I loved it too.
It's like a very good balance of like traditional and non-traditional.
Yeah.
Well, when you grow up pigeonholed into one thing, you just don't even know what's out there.
Yeah.
And I started to realize what are the things that I love about the religion I was raised in, and then what are the things that I still feel fulfilled in when I go to another church, and what do I feel like is missing for me. And when I go, it's like the tradition of it, I think it's a nostalgic thing, even more than it is about like faith, because I think I have my own relationship with God that I don't see as being specifically because I went somewhere on Sunday.
Sure. Right.
But I realize that whenever I go somewhere on a Sunday and I worship in a way that's like I did growing up, which means not the Cross Point specific. That's still fun. I still like when you're worshiping at all.
Different.
It's good news.
It's definitely different.
But even being at the Methodist church or being like obviously when I'm more at the Catholic church, it's a little more familiar. It's a little bit more old school.
Yeah,
I feel grounded, like back to my childhood of who what my parents taught me was the right thing to do. And I know everyone has a different upbringing.
Oh, ours is literally, as you're saying that, no, ours was
very similar.
Quite the opposite.
Well, until we
quite literally the opposite.
Tell me your sisters without telling me your sisters. This conversation.
When we were very little in Alabama.
Of course. My grandfather still to this day, my dad's
3 times a week going to church.
He's at his Catholic church. Probably more honestly, 5 days a week. Very, and he's still like the last time I went to church with him, he's like, you know that they have a singles night here on Monday nights, right?
Shut up. And I was We're going.
I was like,
what do you mean?
What?
I'm going. Tell your grandpa, tell me when I'm going.
No, and he's like a celebrity there. It's so funny.
Of course he is.
Yeah, he's like very loved there.
Yeah.
But I mean, so I get like the younger, but like.
Talking
about how traditional and how very
that's what Grandpa wanted when we lived in Alabama, and then when we moved here, Mom and Dad are just
just a free.
Y'all don't have to do anything. But we would still go with Mom and Jan.
No, of course. I'm not talking about church. I'm talking about like your dad getting upset when there's like sexual conversations.
Extremely different.
Literally, like imagine the opposite, and it's the opposite. Like there's been points where I look back at our childhood and go,
I don't know if that was okay.
I was like, why was this allowed? Like, this is crazy.
Have y'all watched Landman yet?
No.
Yes.
Oh my God. Let me just tell you.
So good.
The father-daughter relationship
it's
there.
so strange.
Look, I'm from there. That is not. I know.
not how it is.
I know hundreds and hundreds of girls that I grew up doing sports with, going to school with, whatever. Then I've met most of their dads that we're all friends with. That is not how a single relationship
Wait, what is it? I haven't seen it.
They just talk about sex freely.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, it wasn't like with our grandfather, it wasn't like openly talked about, but it was definitely like there's a head shake of disappointment and just like, you know,
mine was never a head shake. It was an outright like yelling,
what
absolutely not. You're grounded for the rest of your life.
No, ours was a head shake after like we had acted up or acted a fool or like, you know, stayed out all night, like whatever. Like
I wonder if it made me want to party more. You know, I don't know.
That's what's
that
interesting.
Is it. We got Baley and I did not.
We got to Alabama for school. Like we graduated high school. We got to Alabama, and I remember vividly like our first like sorority party being like, what is Shvedka? It's like, where's the Tito's? Like, what is going on? And like, why are these girls dancing on a table? Like, what is
Have y'all never been here before?
It was literally like,
I remember my first
year. Is this your first beverage ever? And for some of these girls, it was.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think that it's like bad or good or right or wrong, but I do think it definitely made us, when we went out into the real world, we were the gossip girl, martini drinking girls. Like, we just were like, unimpressed,
way more tame,
and I feel like
because we'd already been there, we'd already done it.
It really does make a big difference, because like I went to Vanderbilt, and so many different walks of life end up at that school. Like they come from all over the country. Almost no one's from Nashville, so everyone's an implant. So it was my first time in my life meeting people from these different backgrounds, and my parents, as conservative as they are, they're Cajun as hell.
Yeah.
We're from, like, my parents are from Louisiana. They were like, we were raised, we could go through a drive-through and get a daiquiri. We were legally allowed to drink at 18. You know? Like, Louisiana does its thing.
They're fine
so
with it.
My parents were, like,
fine
way
with that.
way more chill about that. So when I got to Vandy, I was like, I've been here before. Like, I've been drinking since I was a sophomore in high school. And even then, I was, like, late to the party.
Yeah.
There are people at that school that have never had a sip.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And it's their first time away from home, and it's an academic school, you know? Like lots of people are. It was so funny though, because I remember going to a party at UT Austin where a bunch of my friends from high school ended up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then like obviously being fresh off a weekend off at Vandy frat parties. And I remember just being like, the Vandy frat parties are so much more fun.
Yeah.
Because everybody's so excited to party.
Yeah.
And it like in a UT is like everyone's been drinking since they were 14.
Yeah.
And so everyone's
it's a
like
different energy.
They're like being like classy about it. And I'm like, this is so funny to me. Because I just didn't like, you can't know until you leave your environment what's normal and what's not normal.
Totally. Right.
Yeah. And man, I tell you, I met all different walks of life going to school there. Had a damn good time though.
Yeah. Like I think there's pros and cons of both.
Yeah.
I think I would probably meet like somewhere in the middle as a parent.
That's obviously what everyone does. I feel like you digest what you were raised to believe, and then you make your own beliefs and you try to be the best for your kid. But your kid's going to inevitably be like, my parents sucked. They did da-da-da-da-da.
No, by no means do I think mom and dad sucked. We basically had two sets of parents, with Mama Jan, Papa, Mom and Dad, and April. We all lived in one house. Yeah. So
how fun.
There was literally,
it was fun.
Oh yeah. We all grew up in this big 10,000 square foot house where the door, we didn't even have keys. There was no locks. Like people, like I'd get home, someone's just in the left wing and the right wing and you know, people were just everywhere. But I liked that. I liked that our house was where everyone like congregated to and wanted to hang out there, because my mom was like, well, if you're going to do it, might as well do it here. So
there was no drinking and driving.
Yeah,
sure.
The drinking and driving thing was like, because, you know, we had friends that passed away and that there was a lot of
She wanted to keep it.
No one needs to explain why drinking and driving is bad.
Yeah.
I think we're all on the same page here.
Yeah. But yeah. So
no, I mean it's been like very eye-opening though. Living here and realizing how our experiences of having the family that's all up in your business is not everyone's experience.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was just normal. And then I realized the way that y'all are all close, like that's how my family, like we have a group text of all my cousins. We see our grandparents all the time. We're very close with like our extended family, not just our immediate family.
Yeah.
And that's not normal.
No.
Like you realize that's the minority for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, now I need to wrap my head around what are the other ways that this has influenced me that make me not understand other people maybe, or the way that like other things have come to be the way that they are.
Yeah.
Because it's not normal, I don't think.
Well, no, it's not
common for sure.
It's definitely not. And I prefer it to, obviously, we were always with like 10 of us.
Yeah.
Like we were bowling with our family the other night. It's
no,
like, everywhere we
y'all
go,
are my
there's 12
Nashville
of us.
family, and I know that y'all
Like,
have become that for like lots of people in Nashville, and that's how my family is in Houston.
Yeah.
They have children from all different families.
Yeah.
Children.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but they just do it in that city.
Yeah. Yes.
So I'm like, I'm very familiar with the fun
setup we've got
vibe of
going
it,
on
because
here.
it's like, why not like bring more people into the
in,
fold?
yeah.
It's just, it's
See, that's
more
how
fun
I
than
am.
not.
Like I'm our family's like I'm our stray catcher.
She's
Like,
the recruiter.
I'm always
She
the
is
one
the
like
recruiter.
She's the
bringing
recruiter.
random friends and random people into the fold.
Yeah.
So okay, here, but obviously we all know Blair's engaged. She's about to start like having 10 kids.
Go crazy.
in the next like.
No, let's not get crazy. We'll see.
But so do you? So do we feel like that's what we're gonna build to? Is like what we grew up in? Do you feel like that's what you're gonna create with someone? Is like kids and big family, and you're moving in with your mom
I
and
sure
dad?
hope so.
Yeah.
I just wrote a song called The Big Picture, and it's all about this, photograph of my grandparents, and they have all their kids, all their great grandkids.
Yeah.
Or grandkids and all
the
their great
great-grandkids,
grandkids. And all of us are in this picture because like my sister just had a baby and one of my cousins has had a baby, all on that side of the family.
Yeah.
And I'm like watching this family tree
going
just
through this.
expand, and this photo gets bigger and bigger every year. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I want that. Yeah. But it's so crazy that my family, and I know that this is a thing for our generation, everyone lives everywhere.
Yeah.
So like my parents are still in Houston. My older sister, she lives up in Connecticut. We at least got her back from London. She was there for 5 years. I'm like, thank God she's stateside again. At least that's easier to get to. And then my little sister's in North Carolina. We don't know where she's going to end up living.
Temporarily.
I've tried to recruit her here
We're
for
gonna
2
recruit
years.
Emmy here.
I feel like she loves it when she comes here.
You know, the only reason Emily hasn't I feel like the only reason she hasn't just fully moved here is because of honestly, it's like the geography. She's a runner. She can't, it's so hilly here that for her training, my sister's a professional runner for people who don't know.
Yeah.
She literally can't do her training.
She literally
on
runs with no one chasing her.
She doesn't even listen to music.
It's shocking. She raw dogs it. Yeah, she raw dogs it. It's insane. It's literally crazy.
That is nuts.
And loves it.
Loves it. Loves it.
Just listens to the piece.
Guys, I just signed up for a half marathon.
Oh, you did?
I'm doing it in like 2 weeks with my best friend Emmy, my roommate from
I knew
Vandy.
she was going to do this, and now we're going to okay, so are you a marathon runner that likes to talk about it, or are you just going to go do it?
Oh, I did a marathon. Did you know that I'd done a marathon?
Uh-huh.
When was the last time we talked about that?
I don't know, but people either when they do 75 hard or run a marathon, they either are the people that you don't know they're doing it, or it's the only thing we're going to talk about.
So I've definitely thought, it's so funny. I literally almost texted my family group text, and then I didn't.
To let everyone know.
And then I didn't.
Why?
Because I was like, I don't want anyone having any expectations for me.
There we go.
See, that is me. I'm like, I ain't even going to tell y'all I'm doing it. I don't want anyone holding me accountable.
No. When she told me she was doing this, I said, I'll do it with you. Can we walk? And she was like,
No. This is an as of today decision.
We just talked about it at Soho like 2 nights ago.
I told you Emmy asked me to come do one.
Oh, I thought you said
I
you
ran
were
3
doing
miles today for the first time in I don't know how long.
You love to run though.
I run a mile a day.
A mile a day.
Oh, okay.
A mile a day.
We are going
I
to talk
think
about
you
this
ran
too.
more than that.
We are going to talk about that
That's
too.
more than I'm doing.
I mean,
so.
it ends up being 365 miles a
There
year.
you go.
Wait, so that's my question because we asked Victoria this, and I want your answer for the girlies. Is you're doing your mile a day? You've
Yes.
been doing that for like your whole life.
At least 2 years.
Yeah. Well, 2 years.
Literally 2 years
Whole life,
straight.
2 years, same thing.
No, mile a day, going hard, 2 years
day,
straight.
every day. She
That's
does at least
awesome.
run or like
I can walk it if I
for
want.
your view for like your fans and people you're interacting with, like they can walk and do whatever.
I walk it sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. But
Love
like
that.
she's like, get it done. So what are the things we're doing to stay hot? We're hot.
Mile
Like,
a
what are
day.
the things we're doing to stay hot?
Mile a day, gallon of water a day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that
Any
simple.
skincare, diet, anything you like. Well, we don't want to call it diet, but like,
I mean,
I mean, just regimented things that like.
yeah.
So I try to be as healthy as I can when I'm home because I'm very, very free and open with what I eat when I'm not home.
Yeah.
And I think that
Like
it's
traveling?
it's about balance. You know
Well,
what I mean?
are you
Like,
talking
you
about
don't-
Even just going out to eat.
You're talking about
Both.
touring?
Okay.
both. Like
Touring.
or just going to
Out
a
of
dinner
town
with
on
my
a trip.
friends. Not even
Yeah.
out of town. Like if we
Oh,
go to
out
dinner
to
somewhere.
Okay.
But like when I'm home,
Yeah.
you're not going to catch me having something like terrible for me unless the only things that are bad that I eat at home pretty much ice cream,
Yeah.
done. I will crush a Jenny's pint of salted caramel
For sure.
Yeah.
like you wouldn't believe watching Sex in the
Brambleberry
City.
crisp.
Watching Sex in the
City.
Got her hooked. It's so
Other
crazy.
than that, it's like dark chocolate, which isn't even really bad for
no,
you.
yeah.
Like in my brain, dark chocolate's like supposed to be good for your heart or something.
Yeah,
Accident,
something.
something. So I'm like, dark chocolate's healthy.
Yeah.
So like those 2 things I'll eat at home. But other than that, at home, you're not going to catch me
Pretty
being
clean.
unhealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Glass of
Every
wine
once
here
in
and
a
there
while.
is good for you, I think. Yeah.
You know, again, good for your heart.
Yes.
People have
Yes.
said
That's
a
what they
glass a
said.
day. I
That's
don't
what
know.
they say.
Listen to the people.
Yeah. That's what they say. It's like, who is they?
But I will say, people
Who is
don't.
they?
I think people severely underestimate the power of water. Like,
oh yeah.
yeah,
no one drinks water. Nobody drinks water.
A lot of people don't.
It is
It's
crazy
kinda
to me.
nuts. Yeah.
Water is a miracle drug.
Yeah.
It is crazy what it'll do for your skin, for your digestion,
Yeah.
for your ability to feel full when you aren't
Yeah.
like eating a ton, like
All of
obviously you got to put some electrolytes in there. Like don't
Oh yeah. I do it once. a
don't
day.
go crazy and only drink water
Yeah.
with nothing, supplemental in it.
We're
but
we're gonna have Emmy, her sister, come on. Emily come on, and she'll tell her story about like she
Yeah.
went to the hospital because she
No, I
drank
yeah.
so much water.
yeah, my
I
little
didn't
sister
really
almost
touch on that
died
with
from
her,
it.
but that's
She'll come on and talk about
Yeah,
it. She has a
she,
book about it if anybody wants to go read it. It's
Yeah.
called The Player's Plate, and it's actually like the whole beginning part of the book. It talks about what happened and how it happened, and it's really scary. Like we all
Yeah.
thought she could have died.
Yeah.
If her coach hadn't found her, she would have died.
Yeah.
Her brain was swelling. It's the way that
nuts.
when your body has a lack of saline, which is salt, like your brain swells. And how are we supposed to know that? So she was drinking a lot of water and sweating a ton from running and wasn't
and didn't know
having electrolytes.
Yeah.
So her brain
So now
literally
she's
started
the
to
electrolyte
swell.
queen. Every time I try new electrolyte or like
Yeah.
see something.
What are her favorites? Because I'm on the search.
So
I was doing the LMNTs and
Element's
That's
the
what she
best.
likes. That
Okay.
one. Yeah.
I think it's the best. She uses a couple of different ones, but that one, so like my gallon, I basically have like split into 4 sections, and the first one, and everything I have is like flavored. So I'm excited about my next
Yeah.
They
next
taste
liter.
good. It's
Yeah.
Not bad. Yeah.
So the first one I do like a vanilla. It's a French vanilla first form collagen powder.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I have that as my, first fourth. And then the second one I do is like a greens powder that's chocolate flavored,
Yeah.
that's first form.
Okay.
So then I have like this chocolate drink that's
Yeah.
delicious for a couple hours.
Yeah.
And then I do my electrolytes, an element packet of whatever flavor, all delicious.
Yeah.
And then my last section I'll do magnesium. It's like a chocolate magnesium powder from First Form, and magnesium helps you sleep.
Yeah.
It helps release like, I don't know, serotonin or something.
I use one every night.
So, I need to be taking magnesium. I'm not, and I know that I use
the moon juice. Please tell me that's okay. Have you?
I haven't had it. No.
Blair's like, oh my god.
I'm like waiting for somebody. I literally make a little sleepy girl cocktail every night with cherry juice and put cherries. in it.
Tart cherry juice is great before. I'll put it in a wine glass and just walk around.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I do.
It's
I
so
make
fun.
it in a wine glass, and it keeps me from drinking too.
Honestly, that's the only. If I'm not drinking wine at my house at night, it's because it's tart cherry juice in the glass.
Yes.
Yeah.
So funny.
But I sleep like a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I put
And
the
sleep is hard to come by. Like
it.
some people are great at sleeping. You
Can't relate. Yeah.
I cannot sleep for the life of me.
Really?
And I'm getting better at it, but like like
yeah, that's true.
even in college, when I'd go to sleep at 4 or 5 in the morning, I'd be up at 7:30 or 8, just awake.
Yeah.
No alarm, just up.
Well, it's because your brain is
I don't
probably just
know.
working.
It happens to me sometimes.
That happened to me a lot in college when I was like designing clothes. Like I literally never slept, and it wasn't from anything but just like my brain never shut off.
Yeah.
I was constantly thinking about.
I think it's that on top of just being a light sleeper. Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
smallest sound,
smallest thing
light,
wakes you up.
anything wakes me up.
She's so funny. Jules sleeps at my house like a couple times a week when we're both here, and she literally
Oh yeah,
puts in earplugs, mask. She's covered up to here. I mean, she's
I'm like,
just
don't talk to me.
She's like,
don't
all right,
make a peep.
this conversation,
And I still wake up before her every morning.
I'm sure.
There's never been a day where you're up before
Bailey,
me.
No, I sleep.
Bailey's like a 9, 10
I could lay my head right here, and we could go to sleep like anywhere.
That's how my
Anytime,
mom
anywhere.
is. My mom could sleep
I'm not
through
like that.
a tornado.
Yeah,
No.
anytime. Like the amount of people that send me these like sleeping competition where you can like win $2,000
Are you
in
serious?
Switzerland
No,
or
we need to
something.
put you
They're
in
like
one.
Bailey, this was made for you.
This
And I'm
Oh
like,
my God, that's
I was
so
like, I would
funny.
win immediate no one else needs to go. Like we don't
put
even
me in,
need to do a
coach.
competition. Like it'd be game over, done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm like, we want to go to Switzerland.
does
I
love
will
to
say
sleep.
also though how much I was hyping up water for being the miracle drug.
Yeah.
Sleep.
Sleep.
Again,
Yeah, I think sleep's so
Sleep
important.
makes you hotter for sure.
It is sleep makes you hotter.
Yeah.
There's
does.
never been a truer statement.
It does.
If you sleep even only like 7 hours a night, because I was doing like 4 hours a night for
Yeah.
a long time. If you sleep even 7 hours a night and if you're consistent about that,
Yeah.
I mean, your allergies get better. Your immune system can just handle the world
Yeah.
better. Your skin isn't as puffy. You don't have bags under your eyes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I cannot believe how big of a difference just sleeping a couple more hours a night did
Totally.
for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I don't go crazy. I'm not sleeping 9-10 hours. Like I'll try to get 8, but I'm gonna
I'm
wake
a
up
7
before
to
my.
8,
I'll wake
yeah.
up before 8 hours. Just no alarm. Like
Yeah.
so that's not on
Oh, I know,
purpose,
yeah.
but it's like
Yep.
Well, yeah, I mean, like
Is
you
what it
don't
is.
you don't want to see me on 4 hours of sleep. Like it's not fun and it's not.
I'm
like,
fine.
not
No,
good.
I'm not.
I'm
like,
literally.
I'm not.
That's
Okay.
what's so hard about it for me. I can sleep 3-4 hours, get up, go on a run, go to have fun with friends, do my thing, and I'll stay up till who knows how long the next night. But my skin will look
It
bad.
shows.
Yeah.
I'll start.
I feel
I'll
like-
lose my voice.
Yep.
But I won't. Like for the longest time, I didn't associate that with lack of sleep. I just thought like, oh,
my
I'm
gosh,
sick
yeah.
from something. But
I
it was
literally
like
develop a mental
sleep.
disorder that whole day where I'm like, oh, I've got to go take a nap. Like, this, I've got to just get my full 9.
Yeah.
If I don't have
See,
it,
You do
like
say that all the
nap.
time. You're
I'm
like,
like,
I'm not a napper.
I did
anymore."
it today. I went
rather
back to
just
sleep today.
Push through and get my 7-8 hours that night.
Yeah.
I'll sleep better if I don't nap.
Yeah.
I think.
No, so like I can tell a difference for sure when I'm not sleeping like past my like a 7-hour mark. Like I can tell with everything, productivity, my skin, my hair, my eye, like everything.
Yeah,
Everything just feels off kilter.
Yeah.
Wow, y'all aren't doing
I know.
any damage on your wine.
Nothing makes you hotter than
Chatting,
sleeping.
listening. When all the stuff happened with your engagement, like
Blowing up.
kind of, yeah,
Going
blowing
crazy.
up, like how much did you talk about? How much are you willing to talk about now to like tell people?
I am pretty open about it. And it's really been liberating because I've been so private about everything in my life for years. And my dad had this phrase growing up, loose lips sink ships, you know, like never talk about anything that you don't want people to use against you.
Yeah, of course.
And so I've always been so quiet about everything. And when this, you know, this ex of mine, we've been together for about 4 years, but we'd known each other since we were little kids. Like we kissed when we were like 5 years old for the first time. So it was like a lot of years of damage to like my heart and family relationships. And it was one of those situations where it doesn't just affect me, what I say, but it affects my family, affects his family, who I care about, affects him. Like it had to be careful about it.
Yeah. Of course.
And I think by the end of it, when it was all said and done, I was so exhausted and so broken from it all that I just didn't even have the energy to look out for how it was going to affect everybody else
to care
with
about
what I
anyone
said.
Yeah, because it's like,
and not in like a mean way, but
just
because I still never really said anything bad about him other than you cheated and did whatever. But it was like the songs paint the whole picture of, you know, how it felt not getting to talk to his mom anymore, who I've known since I was a little kid. Yeah. Like before I could speak, she like knew me.
Right. Yeah.
It's all of these things that before I probably wouldn't have touched on at all. But I was just so exhausted of trying to keep up a strong front that I was like, this is what's going on because I can't write about anything else. It's the only thing I could write about. I would be in any session and they'd be like, what do you want to talk about? And I'm like, well, this is the only thing on repeat in my brain. Right. So maybe the song never comes out because it's too personal. Yeah. But I have to write it. It's all I can think about. And then 6 months goes by and that's the only stuff I've written. Yeah. So it's like, that's what has to come out, you know? And I did. I took 6 months between the breakup actually happening before I said anything to anyone on social media or in our friend world. Like I pretty much just told my immediate like best friends or my family, and I didn't say anything. And I kind of was just a hermit for a while. I went home. I just didn't really deal with it.
You were grieving.
I was grieving and I was trying to process everything and figure out how I felt about it all. Yeah. And after 6 months of writing, therapy of that, grieving, talking to my family, hadn't kissed anyone. Obviously, I'm not talking to anybody. It was like 6 months go by and I finally hit this point. I kiss, it's that Kelsey, I kissed someone new last night. Yeah. Like literally that happened. And it so changed. Fun. Like I was like, okay, I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm still not okay, but I'm okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start telling my story.
Yeah, it's okay to tell the truth. It's okay to say
it's okay to tell the truth. That's what really happened. I was like, I'm not going to make up anything. I'm not going to bash anything.
Of course,
I'm literally just going to say the truth.
The facts.
Yeah.
And the facts were crazy to people.
Yeah.
Because they are crazy.
I mean, they are crazy.
That's what's crazy. That's what's crazy. I'm like, because we've talked about this with a few guests, and it's like, if you don't want your shit laid bare, like, don't be out here doing stuff. Yeah. That's crazy. Like that was like
so true.
It's like I don't give me something to write this song about.
And like, we're not gonna gatekeep for the listeners because that's just rude. But what ended up happening was first he assaulted a music industry colleague of mine on Broadway. And
I didn't even know that.
She was at a work event.
I was at a work event and he was mad. I was talking to another guy. He was drunk. He assaulted this guy. These random Broadway girls literally came up and they grabbed me and they were like, you don't look safe. Please come with us. And that's how bad the situation was. So I went with these random girls I don't know to their Airbnb and then got my Uber from there.
Wow.
Crazy. So that was the first thing that happened. And then, you know, I'm like still giving him a chance to fix everything. And I get a DM from a girl that he's been staying with her and she's his new girlfriend and they've been dating. And she actually commented it. I have a song with my friend Kaylee Rose called Catch, and it's this real fun, cute song. Like, that boy's a catch and release. And it's really funny.
Yeah.
And, that girl commented on the video and was like, check your DMs. This sounds like your fiance.
Yeah.
And so I checked my DMs and she sent me their whole text thread, photos of them together on a boat, like all this proof, like really crazy evidence. I never saw him or spoke to him again. I called him on the phone, broke up with him, was obviously hyperventilating, crying. But I never saw his face again. Like I never had an in-person,
because y'all had gone on a hike or something.
Yeah, we were together that whole day. Then she sent me the pictures.
She had been with him, and then they separated.
It's just
like
heart-wrenching. It's
horrible. It was. I just was so shocked. I was
you just feel lied to and like played and just
how could you be normal with me today? He was with me the entire day.
That's the problem.
He was so normal.
Like, they come back into the fold, and
I'm like, did you sleep at her house last night?
Literally.
Like
it's that like, and I'm not saying no men have conscience, like a conscience. How do you say it? Like a conscience, like where they feel okay. I'm not saying men don't feel bad about the shit that they do.
Education for
but
you.
I mean, but
let your conscience be your guide.
Conscience. But I'm saying, like, it has actually been impeccably enlightening to see a man be able to like go out, do these things with other women, and then literally like come back into your house and be
completely normal
and literally lie to your face.
Just tell me how he's been going to therapy and is so ready to take this thing to back to a healthy place and da 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 da.
But that's what I'm saying is like it's the lie, like because I'm cool. Like I understand if you're gonna like mess up and do some shit that you're gonna be like, oh, I was drunk, I shouldn't have done this, or like whatever. Like we're human beings. Like we're gonna do things. Yeah. But obviously, like, don't put yourself in those situations is a better idea. But if something
no one's perfect.
Happens,
like we have grace. I was trying to take him back. I was trying to fix the situation even after the like Broadway assault stuff.
And then it's the lie. It's the lie to the face that I can't move past.
And then even after
of these guys,
even like, after I said what happened, he was like, well, it's because you weren't making me feel
it's your
like
fault. Because you
it was still my fault.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry that I caused you to slip and fall into her bed.
Yeah.
My bad.
Narcissist or sociopath. Like, that's crazy.
And like I got to a point where the last part of texting on that like thread, it's just a ton of messages, huge long messages from him.
Like novels. Yeah.
And it was like I was out of energy and patience to even try because once you realize that nothing you say is going to make them understand, you just don't care anymore.
Yeah,
like I literally lost all desire to even try to get him to understand. I was like, you're not going to get it. Hope. You're never going to get it. You never have gotten it.
He didn't want to understand. He wanted.
I don't think he could.
Yeah.
I truly don't think he had the ability to understand.
That's it right there. It's
I realized that.
It's not that. This is what we've talked about with so many girlfriends. It's like a man is either like willing and capable, and like the right man for you is both. But like you can have like I've dated guys who are like willing to put in the work, willing to do what they need to do, but they literally just don't get it. And then I have guys that are capable and like not willing, like fully capable and know what they're doing, and they like will not show up how they're supposed to. Like they're not willing to let go of the party and the girls and whatever. It's like I really do believe like the right man is both. Like
they can
is willing and capable, and like that's the person you're gonna end up with.
Yeah.
And everyone has the potential. And that's the hardest part about dating is that you see the potential.
Well, it's
and
the
you're
ego
like,
hit.
You could.
It's the ego hit because the right girl, I do believe that. I think every guy shows up for the girl they want to show up for.
I agree.
I think that's true.
What was the book we read in Bible study?
I was like, I have the relationship. Oh no, that was Victoria's.
It was Sacred Search.
Yeah.
He says you do not date for potential. You date for who that man is today. If you would not marry him today,
no, like, it's not. An
and I'll
option.
say, I think one of the things that changed, and I mean, this probably sounds shitty, but like when we started dating, I really didn't have as much going on musically.
Yeah.
And the better my career got, the more, I guess, just bitter or angry at me he was just getting about things.
I could see that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And it was...
well, also, he was playing baseball,
sad.
and then he wasn't anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, all of this kind of rounded out into the engagement, and then it was like...
And I had said not to even propose.
Yeah.
Like, and then we went through like 2 weeks of not fighting, and he was like, all right, I'm going to do it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's like, okay, I know you said
like
this, but you really want
6 months of fighting and then 2 weeks of not fighting. It was like such a jarring switch of, we haven't fought.
It's like, this could be fun to live together.
We're doing this thing. Yeah. And it was like, then you make that decision of, do I break this off right now? Because when they get down on one knee and they ask you to marry them, you have to decide in that moment, either I end this right now forever, or I give it a shot. And so that's what a yes is there. Now, I wouldn't have walked down the aisle until I was like, I'm sure. No, you weren't, because that's a promise, to God and all of that. But the engagement, I was like, I either
figure this
out, or I literally am never going to speak to this man again. And it was I was blindsided. I didn't know that was happening. Right?
Yeah. Oh, well, I was supposed to be on that trip. I didn't go. But anyway,
it was a fun trip. It would have been
so fun. Yeah.
It was a fun trip.
You were engaged. When you got engaged.
I'm still engaged.
Oh, you are engaged. She is engaged. When you got engaged, like, I guess what's for especially for the girlies, because the girlies are listening, is what, on the contrary of that experience, is like that experience of saying yes, you're like, oh, do I like keep trying this? It's like, that's not your experience getting engaged to Kevin.
No.
You were like, I'm fucking obsessed with you.
Kevin, I was like, honey, figure it out. Get the ring. Let's do this.
Yeah.
But I did not have any idea it was coming. I will say, like, we went to Bali in Japan 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
And he didn't do it.
And well, I'm like, oh, he didn't do it then, like, it's probably not coming anytime soon.
He was freaking out when they went on the trip. He goes, she's going to think I'm doing it at every beautiful place we go to. Every stop we're going to go to waterfalls. She's going to think an engagement's coming. I was like, she's going to hate you after this trip. And no, she didn't. She never said a word to me. She was not like, do we know anything? Like, nothing. No. Because I just think that there's a specific security that comes with when you just know.
It's called,
you found the right person.
It's called really peace.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's called peace. Well, and I didn't have a second of peace.
Exactly.
For like 4 years.
Yeah. That's crazy.
No, you did it. We even had like that one experience
in the Bahamas.
We
have so many experiences. Let's not pretend it's one.
Yeah. You weren't even there for this experience. And it was like,
it was obviously the wrong situation for me.
Bachelorette party.
Yeah. When y'all were in Phoenix, right?
Scottsdale.
Well, the last question I want to ask you specifically about this is, what do you feel like was your biggest takeaway from that experience, and like moving forward into a relationship in the future? Like, what is the biggest takeaway that you're like looking for and not looking for?
I know for a fact that my peace is more important to me than trying to like fulfill the checklist of things you're supposed to do in your life.
Yeah.
Find the man, get married, have babies, buy a house, like all that stuff, get a dog. And it sounds selfish, and it is, I guess, but the way that I've experienced the last, these 2 very long-term relationships that I was in, there was no peace. And I was so exhausted by the end of it that it was a lot of clarity of, when you are finally happy with just you and what you're doing, that is when the right thing's going to come along. Because I think I fell into that relationship when I was at like an insecure low point, fell back on something that I had been familiar with since I was a kid. And I was like, oh, maybe this is like what I should do.
Yeah, totally.
Versus now I'm like, if this is going to take away
it should
from all of these amazing things happening in my world, and it's not just work and great things with music, it's being with my friends and visiting to see my sweet little baby nephew who they just asked me to be the godmother of. Like, all of these beautiful things that are happening. I know that when I was in those relationships, I was I was half a friend to my friends, and I was half a sister to my sisters, and I was always like, I can't tell you how many times Emily has just been like, I'm so happy you're single. Yeah. Like, you're so much fun, and like, you're always with me, and we always get to hang out and do all these things. And I'm like,
because you should still see your sister when she's in a relationship.
You should still 100%. See your sister, and she should still be herself. Yeah. I wasn't me.
Yeah.
I was so sad. I was like depressed for so long.
Yeah. So we'll know when we found the right one. It'll be peaceful.
It's going to be peaceful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we love you. We're so happy you came to chat with us.
I love y'all too. Boddens up, baby.
Boddens up, baby.
Boddens up.